Boom. Actually fucking live. Finally. Damn, I hate this YouTube shit. Let me not say that. First time. Always that. Every time I click YouTube, some fucking dumb shit is always on me.
You are hereby sentenced. You are hereby.
Like, wow. For context, I literally don't have TikTok and never look at TikToks. So this is genuinely. I just opened a TikTok because I was like, fucking, let me see what's on TikTok.
All right, lights out.
God damn, I regret that. Wow. Let's get rid of there. So basically, I'm supposed to just sit here and just talk to you cocksuckers, the 0 people that are in here. And I don't really know what I want to do with this. I have no idea. This would be a good way to like just sit here and just talk for an hour. Just have to think to myself and talk for an hour so I can analyze it later, look back at it, see. You got to practice your communication skills. You got to be a good communicator. And the best way to get good at talking is to be talking a lot. And this is a good way to talk a lot, get paid for it, and do shit with it. So that's kind of the idea. Just got done training. Got a nasty workout in after a couple of days of just being lazy. We wrapped that up though quickly. Got a nice workout in, getting some work done. I feel good. Feel good. December 14th, 2025. 22, live in TKK. My own house with my boys. Rocking shit, man. We really rocking shit. So just enjoying life, going with the flow, trying to make more money, make it easier, trying to ebb, trying to flow. We're gonna make it happen. So again, I preface not knowing what the fuck to do with this because I don't know what to do with this. But I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna look at X, ground news, talk about some shit, look at some shit, and then talk about some shit for about an hour. So I asked Grok. I usually use ChatGPT. That's the kind of guy I am. But I wanted to use Grok. So I'm like, you know what? I should pretty much know how to use this if I'm going to be streaming. So, unfortunate shooting in Sydney, Australia. Another one in another school. Israel, Hamas conflict. This is literally useless. That shit's going to go on forever, damn near. It's so crazy that, like, I'm only 22. But to get to a point in society where, like, I see this information right here and I don't even flinch at it. Like, I don't even react. It's actually crazy how desensitized we are to this. So a deadly attack, 12 to 15 people may have been killed. And the other one, 2 students were killed. Literally 30 years ago, this is breaking news. Like, this is insane shit. This is why other countries have banned guns completely, because of one of these instances. And these are happening damn near every day. And no one reacts, no one flinches, unless you're a big name, right? Like Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, my brother. It's wild. It's wild. Rest in peace to anyone who may have died. Condolences and prayers to the families. Always. International conflicts. Russia. Okay, no one gives a fuck. Trump administration. Always some random shit. This is so pointless. Let me ask, best stories this month. Let's go with that. I think that's a little better. Another shooting. Okay. This is the biggest one today. whack. Best story. You know what? Fuck this. We'll talk about Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. This shit is crazy. Jake versus Paul. Nice. Now, I absolutely love Jake Paul for this. Like, I mean, look, disruptor. You know, he is a disruptor. I'm not even following it. Like, say what you want about him. People are gonna hate, always, of course. But I mean, dude, like, he just gets what the fuck he wants. Like, he does what he wants to do. How could you ever hate somebody for that? And he gets paid to do it. He's not hurting nobody. You know, he's a little bombastic, a little disrespectful here and there, but like every man who has a name that you remember is the same way, damn near, in some regard. So like, come on, man, he's living his fucking life. He is gonna die though, unfortunately. That is gonna happen because he went from fighting Tank Davis, who's obviously gonna give him a problem, to fighting literally Sasquatch in human form. Like I think so 6'5", 220? No, he's 240. 6'5". Let me see. Six five, 6'6", 240. And then Jake is what? Let me see what Jake is. Six one 230. See, like that's just not gonna cut it, bro. It's just not a 5-inch height difference in 30 pounds. And I don't know what they're gonna weigh in at, but that's rough. But I fucking love you, J Paul, for that. Like, real talk, that's real. That's just real. Scary fight. At the end of the day, bro, all you gotta do is try your best. So as long as he's training his best, trying his best, this is a fucking W. This is a W. And then Anthony Joshua, like, I'm really curious to know why he would want to take that fight. Maybe he talked about it. Let's see. Or should I add Gronk? I should ask Gronk. Let's see. Why did Anthony Joshua take fight with Jake Paul? AI is crazy. I wonder what this was. Go straight to AI. Massive period, obviously. Returning after layoff. He hasn't fought since September 24. And he just got knocked out. You know about that. High profile comeback. Type shit. Defended legs quickly after pause. Cancelled. Been calling out Joshua since 2025. That's fire. So he called him out for a whole year and then got to fight him. What the fuck? That is G. Like, so he literally just took a whole year, called him out, got to fight with him. They're probably gonna get paid what, like $50 million each. Right? They're getting. Okay, wait. Damn. Their base is 50 mil. What the fuck? That's crazy. They're getting like 180 mil. Am I reading this right? Most consistent. Significantly higher. Bro, that is nuts. that just changed my whole perspective on this whole fucking thing. Let me see. How about MJ versus Chase? This is wild. $180 million for one fucking fight. The power of the internet. Bro. How much are they making? Goofball. $3 to $4 mil. $3 to $4 mil. Not bad. That's fire, actually. But compared to 180 mil, nigga, where are they fighting? Literally, where are they fighting? Oh yeah, some Hanukkah niggas got attacked. I saw this. This is pretty cool. Ground news. This is the first time I'm using this, but it's pretty dope. Like you can add random shit. It tells you which way it leans politically, whether it's left or right or center. Now I don't know how they source it, how they determine that. Maybe they're also biased, for all I know. But it's got a good reputation, so fuck it. Take everything with a grain of salt anyway. Hornets shouldn't position themselves on Chris Paul. Absolutely not. Did he not retire? Fuck. Pretty sure Chris Paul retired. No. Gotta ask Gronk. Is Chris Paul retired? We got him, right? He's like 40-17. Not. How old any? That's hilarious. Let me stop. He's 40. Okay, not that bad. Not that bad. I guess. I mean, you got LeBron doing what he's doing. He's what, 40-17 too? Australia. Trump claims tariffs generated 18 trillion in revenue. Is this true? There should be like a button that says if this is true or not. But it says this story is a summary of posts on X and may evolve over time. Grok can make mistakes, verified outlets. Interesting. That's very interesting. So Fox, I mean, X is damn near like. I mean, it's more trustworthy than literally anything. More than CNN, more than this, more than that. And then obviously AI can get shit wrong, obviously. But should be a pretty good source of information. Like there's millions of people posting to this shit daily, and it's literally an AI analyzing absolutely every single post. And Elon made it. How else would I verify this? Like if that isn't credible, how else could I verify this information? Like genuinely, how else could I verify it? Because who the fuck am I gonna ask? I'm not gonna go to CNN, not gonna go to Fox News. No normie actually knows what the fuck's going on. So anything I ask them is just something they heard from someone somewhere, which is fucking autistic. So obviously, besides making more money, getting more status, and knowing more important people that are around these actual events going on, how else do you verify information if not with this? Trump contrasted his administration's whole. Boom. Okay, so he says $18 trillion in revenue generated. So is that actually generated, or is that like projected, or like investments including 5-year plans, 10-year, 15, 20-year plans? Like, what does that actually look like? I doubt that's literal cash collected like now that the US can use. I highly doubt that, because that would be crazy. 18 fucking trillion dollars. But I don't know. And only because
you would have had a president that didn't have the courage to use the to an extent, because November 5th election, you would have had a president that didn't have the courage to use tariffs the way they should be used. And because of the tariffs, we've taken in more than 18, think of this, $18 trillion. There's never been anything like it. As an example, the previous administration, Sleepy Joe Biden, took in less than 1 trillion in 4 years. We took in more than 18 trillion in 10 months. I'd say that's pretty good, right? I'd say that's pretty good. And if you go back into history, there's never been a country that's taken in more than $3 trillion.
I mean, that's fair. He also does lie a lot, though. That's the problem. But one thing is for certain, Biden was not worried about it whatsoever. He was not trying to do shit with it whatsoever. Like, as far as I'm concerned, obviously I'm not in their administration, but we never even got to know what he was actually doing anyway. He never fucking spoke. Not looking retarded. But it took in less than 1 trillion in 4 years, and it took in 18 and 10. That's good. The tariffs are printing money. Doomsayers are dead wrong. The doomsayers are usually dead wrong. The doomsayers are usually dead wrong, actually. And I can kind of hypothesize why. Think about like the nature of a doomsayer. Like, just imagine going through life, hearing about an idea that has its pros and has its cons, like every single other idea in life ever, and just not being open-minded enough or doing your due diligence to figure out if it's true or not true, or it can be right or can be wrong, versus just an emotional reaction to the person trying to do or accomplish the idea. You make all of your judgments and opinions off of that. And so that's who you are as a doomsayer. Like, you judge people's actions off of like things you don't like about them. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have two people, the one that you like, one that you don't like. Let's say you like your girlfriend, you don't like your brother. You tell your girlfriend something. I completely lost my train of thought. What I was getting at was the doomsayer's nature is just to sit from the sidelines and just sit on the side, talk about what everyone else is doing, and criticize what everyone else is doing versus actually taking action themselves. And so whenever you hear a good idea, like, for example, Trump talking about tariffs, someone would see a stat like this and then actually lose their shit and say, oh, but he did this, but he did that. Whenever you're presented with a situation like this, just understand, like, if the person's saying no without actually being informed or just being ignorant or completely opposed to the idea just because of whose idea it is, don't listen to them. They're doomsayer. And the doomsayers are dead wrong. It's just that simple. Rather, where you should be more open-minded and say, it's a very interesting idea, like prior to him actually doing it, and say, no one else has done it. We used to rely on it as a country. I'm talking about tariffs. Why are we not charging tariffs? And then also everyone else is charging tariffs on us. And obviously it's a much larger picture from that. But that's like just one example of tariffs and why they may be a good idea. People would completely shut that down and not give any attention to it and just immediately have emotional, visceral reactions and just start shitting on the idea just because Trump is the one presenting the idea. It's just that simple. So be careful with doomsayers because they're literally your best friends. They are your mom, they are your sisters, your brothers. They are like the people closest to you usually are the doomsayers. You gotta be careful, you gotta avoid them. Dude, he's still talking
And the Biden administration, our country is doing really well. We inherited a mess from Biden and the Biden.
Dude, I've literally heard Trump say this like 97 times. At least. At least. Yo,
Can you close the front door?
can I answer the front door?
No, close it. It's open.
Nigga, you couldn't close the door? I'm streaming, bro.
No, the wind opened it. Our neighbor texted.
And make sure my daughter didn't run away, please.
I hope she did.
Don't.
Oh.
I'm just playing, bro. I'm playing. I don't want Sage to leave on us like that. But alright, I got you. Peace.
Thank you.
Dad's gonna have to wait. Hopefully the dog doesn't run away. Where was I? Trump and tariffs. So be open to ideas, and even if you don't like the person presenting the ideas, just think like rationally. Would that not work hypothetically? And if you can't put it together, then you're probably a fucking retard. Usually what it comes out to be. I may possibly do a little bit of research before these streams to like have a couple things to talk about already versus trying to figure it out on the spot. May or may not do that. Or I may just want to keep it like this, you know? Keep it raw, keep it simple. Show people that I'm not fucking perfect. I don't need to be all prepared and have everything perfect. Just fucking do it. Talk to your people. CBS News, why are they trending? Why the fuck are they trending? Why am I talking about them? Look at my face. So if X wasn't decent, to submit to Gunther. You know what? Let me go ahead and close this door. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna take a little piss real quick. You know, streamers do that. They be taking piss breaks. I just realized my nigga was at Dunkin' Donuts and didn't even offer me anything. And I would actually love a coffee right now. Homosexuals, don't be friends with them. Anything cultural going on? Hanukkah. Not what the fuck I meant at all. I guess we can talk about this whore because other people were talking about her. That actually sounds crazy to say out loud. But let's see. No, what the fuck? Do not want to see any leaked videos. Media. How does like X work? Like what? I'm not trying to see this shit. What the fuck? How do I like see the stories about the fucking? Is it right here? Bro, I'm literally a unk with this. Like, bro, I'm not trying to see this shit. Fuck out of my face. Damn. Premium. Nigga, I got. Oh, I don't got. They got premium plus. I don't know which one I got. Explore. No, this is what I just did and it fucked me up. Oh, looks maxing. Actually, I'll give my take on looks maxing. So I know like obviously there's some craziness like guys like clavicular. I do not know about this shit whatsoever. I've seen clavicular's podcast. I've seen a couple of his podcasts with some guys I watch, and I think he's a cool dude. I fuck with him. Smart guy, definitely a smart guy. Definitely does some crazy shit, no question. The steroids are crazy, absolutely crazy. The bone smashing, doing it with the hammer is crazy. I don't know, like I would love to see just a video of how exactly he does that without really fucking himself up. Now, obviously, you're gonna lightly tap, but like, do you literally just do it for 5 minutes and then just like, what do you do? Like 4 sets, 5 minutes each side, like, or is 5 minutes too much? Like, I would love some further explanation on that. He is right about the Wolf's Law because, like, I train MMA and we condition our shins using the same idea, meaning like you're creating all those little microfractures and it goes back stronger, more dense, healthier, better. And so it works, it's effective, and it's just different. You know, it's very different. It's very new. So a lot of people shit on him completely, and for good reason, honestly, for good reason. I mean, you can't blame him. He's talking about steroids. He teaches a course. I don't think he's teaching steroids in the course. I could be wrong. I had no idea. I don't know his shit. I would never buy the course. I don't really need it. I like the idea. Like God made us in our image, and we're just that. Like, they have to change it too much. Maybe a couple things here and there. Like older dudes who get hair transplants. Like that's cool. All the female shit absolutely needs to go away. That is number one, though. I saw an interesting comment talking about how like looks maxing to the degree that clavicular does, which I completely agree with, is exactly how women are, just for men. Literally, women are OD with the fucking looks maxing. It's the same shit. All the makeup, the goddamn fake eyelashes that are fucking annoying. The lipstick, the makeup, powdered faces, like absolutely clown covered makeup. It is ridiculous. That could all go away, and life would be fantastic. It's just like it's so unnecessary. It's so much. It's so unnecessary. Like just you're born how you're born. Why the fuck does it matter so much? Like why do you have to change so many things? Like you want to whiten your teeth, cool. Like you want to fix your hairline, that's solid. Work on your beard a little bit, like stay reasonable. But these cocksuckers, goddamn bone smashing. Like, damn. And like I said, I fuck with clavicular like as a dude. Like he's cool, he's smart, talks about good things, important things. But he definitely goes a little overboard. And the thing that people don't like about him is the fact that he does steroids and like does drugs. But I do not know how fucking X works. Like I would hope that I could just type the content I'm looking for and just see what people say about it. But that's not how it works at all. Unless I'm just retarded, which could be a possibility in regards to this. But people don't like that he does steroids and drugs essentially, and also the fact that he's 19, so obviously naturally he's gonna have a younger demographic, and so there's a young demographic of dudes who are saying essentially they're perceiving it as like, if I do steroids, I'm gonna look like this guy, when it's just so far from reality. And now I am not saying that that's what clavicular is saying, but that's how it's perceived in a 14-year-old, 15-year-old mind. That's how it could be perceived at least. And so that's really the beef with him, which is fully understandable. But at the end of the day, it's like, how, if you're clavicular, you have this thing that you want to teach to people that is effective and works for some people. How do you get that message out there without without kids hearing it? Unless America did something like Australia did, which was ban kids from social media, which I think is an absolutely fantastic idea. Banning all social media for kids. You have to be 18 or older to have social media. I think that is a fantastic idea. I think that is phenomenal. And that's really the only way I could see that he would be able to prevent something like that. So the reason I say that is because he gets beef for kids hearing his message when it's like, he's not telling kids to do it. He's not seeking out kids to do it. There's a picture of him injecting his girlfriend. I saw that. But it's like, I think he was like 17, 18, some shit like that. She was 16. They're talking about the whole minor bullshit, this, that, and the other. Yeah, there's a case for that, but she could have got it at a doctor somewhere else. So it really doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't matter. He just did it. Another doctor would have done it. Gladly take that white girl's money. So that's not a big deal at all. So that's really the beef with him. And it's like, I just want to be considerate towards his position. Like, he can't really prevent a 14-year-old coming across his video. He really can't do that. And he advocates against it. He tells them not to do it. But of course, you can catch that one clip that sees him doing it, and then you just automatically assume that you should do it. And that's the fucking problem. Solution? That's a fantastic idea. I'd say for him, maybe keep the methamphetamines and the drugs and the steroids, keep that all like on the low. Like, if you want to reveal it within your course, sure. But if you're live and broadcast to like a bunch of people, maybe don't mention it. But of course, say whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to curate your message just for the sake of the possible detriment it can cause, right? You don't have to worry about it. You say whatever the fuck you want. But if you're a considerate guy, then you will. And that's all this is from. So that's all I would really say, because besides that, like, his message is pretty solid. Like, he's really telling dudes to, as far as I perceived, of course, I barely know clavicular. I've not really gone through his stuff. This is just my opinion on what I've seen, a couple podcasts, little things here and there. And I fuck with him. I think he's a cool dude who represents being a male who's doing shit, like in shape, worried about his looks, trying to present himself well. He has good knowledge about his field, like he's actually knowledgeable. He knows it on a deep level, which shows he's an expert, which is always important. He's done a couple different difficult things. You know, he's built his channel. He's handling the limelight. He's doing things like, so I respect him. Absolutely respect him. I guess you could say that's my take on him. Looks Maxon as a whole, I don't know any other creator at all outside of this guy, which is actually kind of crazy. He's completely carrying the space. I don't know anything of this space, but clearly he's completely carrying the space because this is the only fucking guy I know, and most guys do know. But I think looks maxing overall is cool. Like, if you're talking stuff like exercising your jaw, obviously going to the gym, being in good shape, eating good food so your skin's clear, hydrating well, naturally, doing all these things. Like, if you're getting into all of that, that is fantastic. But whenever it comes to altering God's image and doing things artificially, that's where you start to lose me, because it's like, it's just unnecessary. You don't need that. There are people who have never done it, who have gotten every single thing they've ever wanted in life. And there's people who have done it, who have gotten every single thing that they've wanted in life. There's people who have never done it and never got shit from life. And there's people that have done it and have gotten shit from life. My point is, it doesn't fucking matter. Figure out what the hell you want from life and gear your life towards getting that. Not worried about how big my lips are. Do I look like this girl, that guy, or this guy? It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But that's kind of what happens when there's just a lot of money involved into something. There's so much money involved in like the beauty industry and that whole like makeup and surgeries and the height surgeries, the Botox, the fucking facial nose, the nose surgeries, all the shit. There's so much money behind that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the multiple billions, probably even hundreds of billions, honestly. Um, because I mean, they got a complete monopoly over women. Like every single woman is just completely engulfed in that industry from day one, from the time that they're 4 years old. I got baby cousins who are 2, 3, 4 years old trying to put lipstick on. Like, what the fuck world have we gone to? And my little baby cousin is trying to put lipstick on. Why the fuck? Why? Lipstick before speech. How? Like, it's ridiculous. So, and for more reasons than that, obviously. But that's just what happens when there's a lot of money into it. There's good marketing for it. It's very easy to sell women. Everyone knows this. And it's something that's geared toward women. And that's why that age-old saying is so absolutely true. It's like women fall in love with what they hear, whereas men will always fall in love with what they see. And women know that. And so that's why they beautify themselves up, put all this makeup, all this bullshit on them to look better to men and attract, obviously, their future husband, their future mate, their partner, whatever the fuck they're looking for. Maybe just some cock, more than likely. That's what they do it for. And now that's seeping into men. Like now dudes are doing this. That's where it loses me, right? It's like, why do guys have to do this? Just get your shit together, figure out what you want in life, present yourself as a decent human, and don't stop for 10 years. And you literally can have any single life that you could possibly ever think of. Nothing else matters. So that's like my whole life philosophy, obviously. And that's why I disagree with things like this, because it really doesn't get you closer to that. It doesn't really do anything for you. It gives you a little bit of dopamine in the moment. You feel a little good about it now for a little bit, but it's like it eventually fades. You eventually end up regretting it, and it's just not natural. Try to stay away from things that are just not natural, right? There's a reason. Like you have to understand, before all this technology, God gave every single thing humans needed to live and thrive for 100 years before anything was invented. It was already here. So anything that's not in accordance with that, try to stay away from, unless it directly helps with business or relationships, or if there's a good enough positive effect, indulge. Anything other than that, get the fuck away from it. If there's any hindrance whatsoever, get away from it. Stay natural. Stay close with God. Like that's honestly the best advice. Whenever I think of anything like this, it's just so ridiculous. Let me turn the light on. I got the most ghetto setup in the world, baby. I love it. Got the fan light, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn laptop. Let me show you the fan light. Yeah, we lit. Those are some thoughts on looks maxing. Get in better shape, look better for sure, present yourself better, but stay natural with it. Don't go overboard.
Yeah.
Who is HS Tiki Taki?
Hating on him, whatever, like, nah, bro, like, man's a nitty, like, just a nitty, and you get attention for being a nitty in America because it's new, it's a different niche. People start following it. It's nerdy boys that follow people like that, like proper nerds that think, oh yeah, I need to start looks maxing. Oh, that is so zesty, bro. Sitting on live rating another man's looks is the epitome of batty. It's the epitome, bro. Like, real talk. What was I telling you, bro?
That is absolutely factual. Bro, how do you use this fucking application? Absolutely true. Good take. Mr. Taki. Excuse me, guys. The fastest, easiest way to look better is to get clean. That's it. That's facts. A leaner face, a sharper jaw, less bone, more definition. Your bone structure is already there. It's just buried. Exactly. God already put it there. He's got to unbury it. Like, how does this work? Like, how am I getting a fucking message from December 13th? What are 3 things you think an individual should do every day to ultimately become
a good contributing member of society? The
interesting?
question is, what are 3 things that you think an individual should do every day to ultimately become a good member of society?
I think, first of all, you need to take control of your own health. And by doing that, I think you need to take control of your diet. You need to take control of exercise routine and not just your health physically, but your health mentally. What do you consume in terms of, like, what are you getting from social media to what books are you reading? What are you consuming? Health. That's number one. I think everyone needs discipline. You need voluntary adversity, things that you force yourself to do to make yourself stronger. Whether it is cold plunging, sauna, yoga, exercise routines, difficult things to do. And 3, you need a passion. You need a thing that you do that you love. When you find a thing that you do that you love and you get better at it, I think those things become a vehicle for developing your human potential, and I think it makes you a better person overall. Those 3 things, I think if everyone could just apply those 3 things, you'll be a better person, you'll be a better human being, you'll be a better American.
That's facts. Let me hear the last 2.
I think those things become a vehicle for developing your exercise routines, difficult things to do.
Yeah.
And 3, you need a passion. You need a thing that you do that you love. When you find a thing that you do that you love and you get better at it, I think those things become a vehicle for developing your human potential, and I think it makes you a better person overall. Those 3 things, I think if everyone could just apply those 3 things, you'll be a better person, you'll be a better human being, you'll be a better American.
That's absolutely true. I mean, it's,
I think, first of all, you need to take control of your health. Everyone needs discipline. You need a vehicle for developing your
discipline, passion. Health, discipline, passion. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like for the average normal, because he had to give a very general answer for most of society, I think he absolutely hit it on the nail. You got to be healthy mentally, physically. What are you eating? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Who is influencing you? Do you know who's influencing you? All those things absolutely matter. And having them all in check absolutely has to do with your health, because you can be in really good shape but then just be struggling mentally, because let's say you're in really good shape or you're a gay liberal and you're literally being fed complete bullshit. You're being influenced in the worst ways possible. Your friends are liberal influencing you. The news is influencing you liberally, and you allow this, and you know there's something wrong because maybe it's affecting certain habits you have or certain decisions you want to make in life. Maybe you need to make a decision, but you're too scared because you want to be a little more progressive. Just as an example, you're not really mentally healthy, and then it will negatively affect your health, even though you're in phenomenal shape. So both do matter, and I like the way he explained it, short and concisely. That was very nice. And then discipline, absolutely, completely. It's so interesting because most of the shit you have to do to get what you want, you don't want to do on the surface. Like, that's what you initially, like, that's the natural human nature, right? Because we always choose the path of least resistance. And obviously, going through a bunch of shit to get something is a lot harder than just getting the thing. However, it doesn't work like that, right? Obviously, life doesn't operate like that. And so you absolutely do need discipline to accomplish goals. Like, that's essentially it. What career do you want? You're going to need discipline to get it. what body do you want? You're going to need discipline to get it. How healthy do you want to be? You need discipline for it, right? How good do you want to be with your woman, with your guys? That all takes discipline, right? You got to hold your values. You got to hold your morals tight to you, your standards, your boundaries. Never waver on them. Make sure everything happens right as best you can, obviously. And yeah, I mean, you need discipline for all these things. Absolutely important. And then number 3 was a passion. Now, for the average normie, for the general individual, sure. Give them something to passionate about. Yeah, absolutely. If someone's making 40 bands a year, they're in really good shape, they're very disciplined by working out consistently, going to work consistently, being a dad, being a brother, being this, whatever, being a good person, they're disciplined, and they have a really deep passion for like guitar. They're really good at the guitar. They record music on the guitar. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's not really doing anything. They're making 30 grand a year, but life's good. You know what I mean? They have a passion to get lost in. They're extremely healthy, and they're also disciplined, and they have good relationships. That's a pretty happy individual. Now, obviously, if you're an extraordinary individual, like myself, like my guys, like the people around me, then, I mean, dude, fuck passion. Like, you find passion for life, not a thing that you're passionate about. So if that's what you was talking about, then that absolutely applies to everyone. Find a passion for life. But if you was talking generally, like find a skill or find one passionate thing you can like consistently do and get better at, because he did allude to getting better at it, so that's why I perceive that as a skill, then yeah, it's good for the general individual. They can usually handle just one thing. The extraordinary individual, passion doesn't matter. Like, what do you want? You want to win, just fucking win. And then you find passion for winning in life, and nothing else really matters. But it's a really, really good take by King Joe Rogan.
Elections.
Truckloads of evidence proving.
Very good at cheating. That's all they're good at cheating elections. Very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating. Because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you come out. It's coming out in truckloads. And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged. It's such a rigged election. We won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote. I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote. Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border, and they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, they have 38 million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots, and they come in. Where the hell do they go, and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California because we would win California by a lot. And again, they feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all they're doing.
I
They're good
wonder,
at
like,
cheating.
was he asked a question, or was he just like standing here talking? Because if he was just standing here talking, then like, dude, I absolutely love Donald Trump, but bro, he's been talking about that same rigged election since it fucking happened. Whether that is true doesn't matter, my guy. Come on, Mr. Trump. I know this is your thing. When imprinted in people's minds, he wants to be cemented throughout history. Always brought up. I guess that's what you have to do. But like, damn. I mean, I guess you have to. Like, how else would you make sure people remember? Like, I don't know. I know it's a thing. I just don't know if it was like the CIA or some other psychologist that proved it. But you can literally brainwash people by just spamming the same information to them constantly. And if they're seeing the same information spammed to them, but also from like different outlets, like, I don't know why I'm showing that. What the fuck? But if they're from like different outlets, right? For example, they hear on the radio this one piece of information, then they see the same piece of information on the TV, then they see the same piece of information on their friend's tablet, and then they see it in the news, in the gym. Like, they're seeing the same bullshit information, and it's forcing them to believe it by just fucking seeing it all the time. So they just assume it's true, literally only because they can remember it. And the only reason they can remember it is because it's spammed to them on blast. I mean, that's literally human reptilian brains for you. Like, we're all actual retards. Like, that's how it all works for us. Even for things that you believe. Like, a lot of times, they come from just that. If you follow all right stuff, like you see my X feed right here, it's literally all just fucking Republican shit. I guess because I fuck with Trump and some guys that I fuck with. But I literally don't care to see this or anything else. If there was a way I could, like, unfilter my some recommendations but like kind of ease up on it, I would do that. Because if you watch like one fucking video or click on one thing, it starts spamming that to you, and like that's it. Like, it just knows your shit now. It literally fully understands your algorithm. So you click one post, it gives you fucking 5 others. Completely threw me off track of what I was just talking about. They've been signaling that a 9/11 style attack is coming the second week of December. Save this tweet. The second week of December, huh? Well, today is the 9/11 style attack is coming. So is she saying this? Wait, is she saying this because of the Australian shit? Is she saying it because the shooting in Australia, or because 9/11 style attack? What happened? How is this a 9/11 style attack? If someone says 9/11, that's an attack on U.S. soil. That's why it's such a big event. Remember it always. Okay, so I believe I can talk about. Is there like more comments to this one? There is. So I don't understand. Is she talking about like, bro? I need to keep up with shit. Is she talking about the Australian shooting? I'm just gonna assume she is. I guess that's why Sneeko posted it. See what Mr. Putin's talking about. Putin says the UK is not a threat. Vladimir Putin said he doesn't fear the UK because they can't even stop rubber boats invading the country, foreigners, raping the women and kids. Wow, he is absolutely correct. He also said the British people hate their leader. He is wrong, is he? I mean, people get mad at him for this shit. Let's see what the comments look like. He's right about grooming games. True, Putin is wrong. Keir Starmer isn't hated by the British. Keir Starmer is hated by everyone. Accurate. No reason. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong at all. And see, this is a beautiful example of why freedom of speech is so absolutely important. Truly. Because if we analyze this, like, to preface, I don't know much about geopolitics. I know a good, decent bit, somewhat, I guess. That's something that's always expanding. But as far as I understand, there's like a couple big countries in the world that like actually are threats to other countries. Some of those being the U.S., Russia, China, the UAE, and there some more in a bunch. So to be a country that was once the greatest empire in the world, or one of the greatest empires in the world, I just don't know too much about history, always expanding. The British aren't even on one of the big threats anymore. Like, they're not even on the big threats radar. No one gives a fuck about the British. Like, the UK is just literally falling apart. That's what it's known for. It used to be a proud country, a proud nation. It's like, it's interesting because like I'm born in 03, so I'm 22, but I still kind of somewhat can remember like British people just being known for like being courageous, being proud, being bold. I actually had a British teacher in 7th grade. He was a really cool dude. Like he fully embodied being a British dude, as far as I understood, obviously being 7. And even now, I mean, he was pretty British. That's what they were known for. But now they're known for like just being extremely progressive. Going to jail for fucking tweets is insane. Absolutely insane. You can't say what you want. You can't say what you think. You can't say the truth, which is the worst part of it. You say something that's true and it's denied, that's evil. If your truth is denied, that is evil. Why? Because if the truth lays onto someone's ears and helps them take different actions based on that information, it could possibly save their life. It could lead them to a better life. If they're denied that opportunity to a better life, you are evil. So whenever you suppress truth, that is evil. And it's just never going to be a good thing. It's never right. Now, I would argue that's why the US is one of those threats, right? Because becoming one of those threats, you have to have a lot of things going right for you. And I would say that because we're the biggest threat, that it's the freedom of speech that led us there. Because even if you look at countries like China, like Russia, they don't have freedom of speech whatsoever, but they're a threat, right? I guess you could throw North Korea in there, but they're a threat. And they got other things, right? Why we stand apart from those other threats and why we're the ultimate supreme threat is, I believe, as far as my information and knowledge that I know at 22 years old, that is why we are the greatest empire to ever exist. And it's so sad that the UK doesn't offer that same luxury, because we have it. And obviously there was like an era where the internet kind of suppressed that and censored it, and it still does to a degree. It's getting a lot better though. But at least within our neighbors, like we're not going to go to jail for tweets. We're not going to go to jail for conversations. We're not going to go to jail for expressions and doing things with flags or clothes or parades or festivals. Like that's not going to happen, right? And so like that's really what I'm talking about. Freedom of speech is so absolutely important because it keeps people civil and it gets the truth out there. And that's the most important thing. People need to know the truth, because if you don't know the truth, then you can't save yourself. You know what I mean? If I didn't know the truth of transgenderism, for example, if I didn't know that replacing my body parts and taking pills was going to lead me down a path of misery, if I didn't know that, I'm going to probably do it if I'm in the right environment, right? And I'm exposed to the right set of conditions. I'm probably going to do that. And that's the problem. That's the exact problem. So if I know the truth about that, and I know that that leads to suicidal ideation, horrible feelings of depression, horrible bad shit, then I'm going to not do that and realize the only consideration of it was maybe something else, because I know the truth of where that leads. Whereas a kid who doesn't know the truth of where that leads, is misled into that because they don't know the truth and find out the worst way possible when it's too late. And that's a perfect example of the power of truth. Like truth has to be accessible to everyone, always, all the time, no matter what. If you're suppressing truth, you are evil, effectively evil. And I'm directly talking about truth that affects other people's lives, right? I'm not talking about white lies. White lies, blemishing things, adding to things, being dramatic, that could all be used in precise effect, but it's not a bad thing, right? What I'm talking specifically about is truth that alters someone's life, like transgenderism, for example, like taking pills or taking a surgery or cutting something off or adding something to you. That's life altering. It's very hard to come back from that. Obviously, you could always move on and get stronger from everything. I truly believe that. But it's like, that's so preventable if the truth is just out there. And that's kind of the idea with all of this stuff. And it's so sad to see that UK can't be part of that. Honestly, I fuck with the UK. Like, if you look at their history, they have some pretty noble British people. They have some pretty noble history that's worthy looking into, like just some really interesting wars, really interesting things that happened. And again, I'm not well versed on it. I just know that they were pretty impressive. Like that's a general consensus of historians and people that look into it. And I've heard some pretty cool stories that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just remember having the impression that they were cool. And nowadays, Putin's not a threat. Putin says the UK is not a threat. They don't fear them, and their country is invaded with the raping foreigners. It is really sad. It is really sad. And how this ties into freedom of speech is the only reason all of those foreigners are in there and raping people and fucking their entire country up to where they're not a threat anymore is the lack of freedom of speech. You can't talk against it. You can't let other people know why it's a bad thing. You can't advocate against it without repercussions. Like you can't really tell people the truth about it. And that's the problem. When all they're fed is the government lies in media outlets like the BBC and all these people that just lie and force people into believing information just because they're spammed with it, like we talked about earlier, then there's no truth, right? Like that's just information that's brainwashing is what that is. That is not truth. That is brainwashing. And they turn pretty far away from truth. And that's why you have the sad thing going on there. Because and then I was just also thinking about the stabbings, like all the stabbing epidemic going on there. So I kind of slowed down. It's just really sad. It really is sad. And it's one of those things that is like, how do you even fix something like that? And again, I'm only 22. I've got so much world to explore and like life to live, but like just thinking about it now, like how would you even go about fixing that? I don't even know how the fucking leadership works. Like, I know there's a parliament, but is there also like a king? Does the king just do whatever he wants? Does he have to go through parliament? Is it parliament that runs everything, goes to the king? Do they work in tandem? Like, how exactly does that go? I don't know. But how would you even fix something like that? Well, off the top of my head, I guess first things first is you got to pull a Trump. Like, you got to close the border and get everyone the fuck out. You got to kind of hit an ethnic reset in a sense. I'm not saying to murder everybody. I'm not fucking saying that. Just get rid of them. And that would be the start of the solution, because now you obviously don't have the craziness going on there. No more people getting raped, killed, stabbed, influenced negatively. People could feel a little more safe again, hopefully. That would be number one. Then number two would be find some kind of way or set up some kind of system or framework to like ensure freedom of truth can live, freedom of speech can live. That way the truth can be out there. Now I know that would essentially reset all of like Britain's constitutional history in some way, because they've always just had a king, a monarchy, and just like freedom of speech wasn't really a thing. You would literally get killed for talking against the king. Like it was insane. That's why it's a thing here in America, because the Brits are running away from that. So number one would absolutely be that, and then number two would be finding some way to instill freedom of speech, because you really do need that. Without that, the truth can't be out there, and then everyone's just believing all kinds of bullshit. And when everyone's believing every kind of bullshit besides their own, it just never leads to good things. It doesn't lead to good functioning societies, right? Like if you look at Greece, Italy, Switzerland, some of these really beautiful countries, as far as I understand, I don't know how it is governmentally, but the people seem pretty happy. They seem pretty chill. And I believe it's because they are kind of grown up in a system where they can form organic ideas, become who they are, live how they want. Whereas in Western countries like the UK, like the US, everyone's kind of copying and imitating each other. That's kind of what it is. Like, he's got that car, I want to get that car. He's got that house, I want to get that house. Everyone's on social media. Everyone's looking at everyone, trying to be everyone. And that's what we're growing up with now. And that's just a lot of Western nations are like that. And that's why you have a lot of this bullshit going on. Whereas in nations where that doesn't exist, like these countries I named, like Switzerland, France, Italy, Greece, in just like the day-to-day of the average human is what I'm talking of from that perspective, seems pretty good. And it's because, like I said, they're just allowed to live freely. Here, we're always comparing. We're kind of like put with expectations on us from the jump. We're forced to do this thing, that thing. Whereas over there, a lot of the times, they just kind of grow up how they grow up. Like nothing's really forced on them. They can kind of play. They can be a kid. They can mature. They have people to lean on to some degree. And so I think it just makes for a more chill, reasonable, rational human. Whereas when you're just trying to copy everyone else, it leads to a lot of this bullshit, like allowing borders to just be open and let all of your citizens get raped and all the craziness. But enough of that schmuck. Alrighty, boys. Good talking. We'll go back, analyze this, see how it went. Smooth day, smooth day. Y'all stay blessed.